Today I'm in Mindo with friend and fellow scientist Juan Francisco Cueva, and we're on our way up to Reserva Las Tangaras to see what we can find in the forest at night. Okay, this is Juan Fran. Sí! Hiking at night is one of my favorite things to do, and the reason for that is that there are so many creatures that are only active at night. Things like spiders, snakes, frogs, large mammals like cats. Your only chance of seeing them is really at night. If you only hike during the day, you miss out on a huge portion of the biodiversity. So we started our hike out late in the evening, and it rained really heavily on us on the way out here. You can actually see how high the river is when we crossed it. And I was excited because that meant good conditions for frogs. Usually when it rains, there's a lot of humidity in the air and a lot of wildlife comes out. So join us as we explore and record the biodiversity of this incredible cloud forest at night.
And the Pleurothalis genus always have like the flowers going over the leaf like this. Here's the bud.
Yeah.
So after a little bit of hiking, we made it to the primary forest, and as we were walking through a really nice area, I noticed a little orange in the bushes, and it was this snake. Now immediately we can see that this is an arboreal snake. It's climbing. It's very skinny, it's very long and agile, as you can see, not like some snakes that we see that are close to the ground and stationary. So this is actually a snail-eating snake. The species of this one is Dipsis gracilis, named after their graceful nature. And there's actually a whole family of these snail eaters called the Peridae, and they have a really, really unique behavior, an anatomy that's adapted to eat snails. You can see here in this nature paper that they actually saw their jaws side to side. So looking at the skull here, they have movable jaws, and you can see they move back and forth, and that's how they're able to get the snails out of their shells. So amazing little snake that we got the opportunity to see here. We also brought along a blacklight that was gifted to me by some friends at Mycena Media, and a lot of arachnids tend to fluoresce, and so we were taking that around and checking out some things. This pollen on this Calumnia species actually also fluoresced. I'm not sure why that would be.
Wow.
All of a sudden we noticed some glowing eyes staring down at us from way high up in the canopy. It took us several minutes of craning our necks to figure out what it was. We were extremely lucky to see this olenguito, which is a species of kinkajou, only recently described and endemic to the cloud forest of the northern Andes.
Right there, right?
Yeah. It's over there. Anarchy.
Oh, yeah.
That's I don't know if it's an armian, but it's moved like one.
Is this fungus or is this eggs?
I would say fungi.
The white?
Yeah, I would say so.
Oh, that cricket's trying to get out of there.
We found this amazing little frog, which is of the genus Pristamantis, which is actually the largest vertebrate genus in the world with over 617 described species. So really cool little one right here. This is Calcaratus. Okay, so this right here is one of the coolest plants that I've ever seen in the wild, and I'm absolutely just freaking out right now because I can't believe my eyes. This right here is a Masdevallia orchid, and they're very difficult to see in the wild. They don't bloom very often, so I don't know how they're pollinated. I don't know a lot about them, sadly, but seeing this is going to make me want to learn a lot more about them. So I did some more research on Masdevallia orchids when I got home, and I found out that there's a related species that actually pollinates by trapping fruit flies. So they release a sugary substance on their petals, and that attracts the fruit flies, and then fruit flies go in, and then they get trapped. And in order to get out, they have to pass through the area where the pollen sticks to their backs. So It's a really interesting pollination mechanism, and I didn't realize at the time, but there's a little clip here where you can see some fruit flies flying in the background. This is just crazy. There's 3 plants right here. There's one there, and one up there. So obviously this branch or whatever is the perfect place for them, and they've been growing here for quite a while. Check out this bright purple color on the underside of this leaf. This is a gesneriad. This is actually a Columnia species. I found out later that it's Columnia kuchiniaki. And actually what we were looking at there were not the flowers. These are the flowers right here. Stunning little flowers, photos by John Clark. And take a good look at the underside of these leaves again, because that color is going to come back later. Here's a cool little centipede we found. Remember, centipedes have 1 leg per segment, while millipedes have usually 2. So centipedes are predatory and millipedes are herbivorous. We were lucky to see this little centipede right here.
In the crater, like for I'm getting to this lagoon. Keep on.
Minding about
The sick orchid that we just stumbled across. This beautiful, I believe, Scaphia. Really amazing leaves, pointed, and these like intricate flowers. I don't know if I got a picture on me. Annual? Like bloom every year? No, like dying.
At one point we were hearing frog calls really closely, so we turned on our red lights and patiently searched for the calling frogs. Now this is really difficult to do, and we were lucky enough to find one that was calling. So there it is, the mighty call of a male Prismanthus acatinus, which is probably the most common frog that you're going to see in Mindo. And the reason for that probably has something to do with their ability to adapt to disturbed habitats. Now, the question would be, why are we seeing so many of them in this primary forest? And the answer is that primary forests also have a lot of disturbance. The entire trail that we walk along, and this tree fall itself, are all disturbances that are natural or semi-natural. And it turns out that some natural disturbances are actually really important for maintaining a high diversity in an ecosystem. We also found this really cool little tiny frog, which is a Noblella or a Phryastes now. One of the smallest frogs that exists in the entire world, and this one's actually named after Mindo. And here we stumbled across one of my favorite insects in the entire world. These are the cicadas, and they're just incredible because of their life history. Most of them spend their entire life underground, and they emerge, they live for a few weeks, and they call, they make a huge ruckus. If you've ever been in the Midwest in the summer, you know what this sounds like. And some of them will spend up to 17 years underground as a nymph. Here's a little molt of one, and this is kind of what they look like for most of their lifespan, and they leave behind these shells. We found a few species of katydids, which are types of grasshoppers. This one's covered in spines, and it happens to be predatory.
It's a female,
Oh yeah, you're right.
but the ovipository, that it's for to lay eggs. It's incredible.
Look, it's cleaning its feet. So this is another species of katydid that we encountered. There's actually 2 individuals of the same species right here. Just one is bright purple or pink, and another one is green. So we're not really sure why we see this extreme dimorphism, and there are 2 theories that we came up with. One, the purple coloration is just another type of camouflage. We saw there's a lot of really crazy purples in this type of habitat, so maybe it is another type of camouflage. Another idea that my friend Andy Better came up with is that they're actually sacrificial individuals. So these brightly colored individuals attract more predators, and the predators begin to look for these really brightly colored individuals, and that actually makes the green individuals safer. So 2 really interesting theories. Not really sure which one it is, but either way, really lucky to see this incredible katydid. Wow. Okay, so this is kind of wild. I saw this plant here. I'm not really sure what it is. Maybe a piper, but don't quote me on that. But I looked at it and I thought, this is a really weird silver pattern. Never seen anything like that. And then I put my hand underneath it, and it's see-through. Something has gone through and eaten all of the chlorophyll-filled cells out of here and left behind whatever thin membrane is covering this leaf. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I did not even see it was there until I shined my light through like this. Oh my god. That is incredible.
Solo trabajando en aves full. Yo de ese viaje tuve... ¿Cuántos la hice?
So at around 3 in the morning, we turned around and started to head back into town. And along the way, we ran into these little birds. Now, in Peru, I've heard these called guardacaminos, which means the guard of the trail. And it's because they have these really bright eyes that reflect, and they sit right in the middle of the trail. And when you pass by, they fly off like that. Then I saw another pair of eyes looking at me from the bushes.
We're looking at a little deer right here that is just frozen right in front of me. I'm just gonna walk by and try not to disturb him. Yeah. Lindo, qué lindo.
That's not the... Wow, that's the gray deer.
After that incredible deer encounter, we ran into some rhinoceros beetles back in
Yo
town.
digo que le alejamos un poco de la luz.
Sí, sí puede ser.
There it is, we made 52 observations of 33 species. Lots of really cool stuff in there. You can see we ran into a chatinus the most. We saw lots of anthuriums. There's our nightjar. Lots of really cool stuff on here. So, successful night, and hopefully these observations will be helpful to someone in the future.